Hi everyone, it's Michelle here from the 30-day One Simple Change Challenge, and it's really lovely to connect with you today. It's a beautiful sunshiny day here in Belfast City. I hope the sun is shining wherever you are. I'm just finished a really lovely networking event with Health in Mind, a big lottery funded project that I worked very closely with over the last 3.5 years. So today I thought I would share with you some thoughts and some information with regards to the conscious and the unconscious part of the mind. So up until now, we've looked really at some relaxation tips. We've looked at laughter yoga, the power of getting enough sleep, breathing, deep breathing. We've looked at negative automatic thoughts. We've also looked at affirmations and how to apply affirmations. So now what I really want to do is explain to you the power of the unconscious mind. Some people call it the subconscious. In NLP, we call it the unconscious because it's just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the conscious mind. And the really lovely thing about the unconscious mind is that any unconscious program that we're running that is not serving us any good anymore, we actually have the power within us to change that program and bring whatever is unconscious up to the consciousness. And I'm going to explain what that means for anyone that is perhaps slightly confused as to what's the conscious part of the mind and what is the unconscious part of the mind. So the mind is split into two parts effectively. And we now know that the unconscious part of the mind is actually 90 to 95% of our mind. Isn't that incredible? It's a huge part. So it's very, very, very significant. So only 5 to 10% of our mind is actually conscious. So the unconscious part of our mind is the part of our mind that is open to everything that we see, that we hear, that we feel, that basically all of our senses, if you like. From we are in the womb, and we now know that there is a great significance of babies in the womb, and we also know through research, significant research, that infancy mental health is really paramount to how our lives are shaped as adults. And there was a study that the BBC Radio Ulster were actually talking about it just last week. And you know, our brain in the first 3 years of life, our brain develops rapidly, and our emotional part of the brain develops rapidly. And I know I'm going I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but bear with me. So what I'm saying is that the unconscious part of our brain is where we store a lot of our emotions. It's everything that we see, hear, all of our experiences, not only that we see and hear and get from our parents or our caregivers, but also from, you know, religious leaders, from teachers, from our peers. And we also know the significance of peers. Peers now are of too great a significance in our children's lives. And what I mean by that is that if children don't have a healthy attachment to their parents, then as human beings, we are likely, we've an innate need for connection. And if we are not getting that at home with our caregivers, then we look out to other people, namely peers, to attach onto. And there is huge significance in this, because if someone of our own age and immaturity is influencing our lives, then our unconscious mind is wide open to that. So the unconscious mind is basically everything from we are conceived in the womb until the present day, whatever age we are. It's all of our experiences, everything that we see, that we hear, all of the emotions, everything, all our memories are stored in our unconscious mind. But of course, you know, we have so many experiences. So what we tend to do is we have a filtering process of those experiences as well. But the unconscious mind, if you can imagine a sponge, and the unconscious mind is a wee bit like a sponge, and it basically soaks up everything that you tell it. So as I spoke about quite recently about the affirmations, positive affirmations, which are positive words that we say to ourselves, the more we say those positive words on a regular basis, then the more the unconscious mind believes that to be true. And that is how you create a new belief system. So if you have been creating a belief system of negativity, how you do that is you just tell yourself something over and over and over and over again, and then it forms a belief system. So the unconscious mind is so incredibly powerful. And also the unconscious mind, if you think about it a wee bit like the conscious mind is the parent or the adult, and the unconscious mind as the child, as your inner child. So what you really want to do is take your hand and really make friends. Take that wee girl, take that wee boy, and make friends with them and guide them as best you can. So I hope I'm making sense. I know I've went off on a bit of a tangent here and there, but it's all interlinked. It's all totally interlinked. So let me explain another example of the unconscious and the conscious part of our mind. So we know that the unconscious part of our mind is everything that we store and everything that we tell ourselves. And we know that the conscious part of our mind is the mind that's totally aware. And a prime example of this is I'm sitting in my car at the minute. For any of you that have drove a car, you will know that when you are learning to drive with your instructor, it would be totally impossible to do the task of driving and have a conversation or listen to the radio, because you're so focused on the task of driving. You're so conscious of all the different moves that are vital to keeping yourself alive and your instructor alive on the road. So you're fully aware, you're fully present, and you're fully conscious. Now, what happens is after you have a number of lessons, you become not a bad driver, quite a good driver. And then you have your test and you pass your test eventually. And then what happens is you become a master of driving. And then somebody sitting in the car, you can have a conversation, you can put on some tunes and sing and dance in the car. That is because your unconscious mind has now learnt the new skill of driving. And that's where the term driving on autopilot or going on autopilot comes from. Because the unconscious mind loves repetition. And if you think about any of the rituals or anything in your life that you do on a regular basis, like brushing your teeth, you don't have to tell yourself in the morning, oh, I must remember now in the morning, I must leave a post-it note in the morning to remind myself to brush my teeth. You don't, do you? Because you've done it for so long, it's part of your daily habit, your daily ritual, and you just get up and you just do it automatically. And that is the part of our unconscious mind. You have formed a new habit through practice and through repetition. And just like driving. And so the unconscious mind, it loves repetition and it loves habit. And it basically, and your conscious mind gives it instructions and it just takes it as gospel. So I could talk on for a lot longer, but I hope that through this video you have a greater understanding of the power of the unconscious mind. The sun is coming in, it's absolutely beautiful. The power of the unconscious mind. And remember, your unconscious mind is always listening. It is always listening. It's always listening to everything that you're saying, either in your mind or verbally, externally. It's listening all the time. It doesn't have a sense of humour. So if you drop something and you laugh and say, oh, you're so clumsy, Michelle, you're so clumsy, the unconscious mind doesn't get that you're making fun of yourself. It just takes the words, I am clumsy. I am clumsy, and it takes that as the belief. So today's one simple change challenge is be aware of what you're feeding your unconscious mind, because now you have a choice. You have a choice of what to watch on TV, whether even to have a TV. You have a choice of, do you listen to the news, read newspapers? I don't, because it's full of negativity. So be aware of what I don't buy magazines. That's another thing. You know, why would you want to buy magazines and have a magazine tell you all of the things that you should have, and two, you should look a certain way. You know, why buy into that? Why expose your unconscious mind to that type of negativity? So your unconscious mind is always listening. So be mindful, folks, of what you're feeding it through external sources or through your own chatter. And I'm going to talk more about the adult and the inner child, because that's where I see the link between the conscious and the unconscious. And I'm talking more about emotions here. I'm conscious of the time. I think this is the longest video I've recorded, but it's from my heart and to your heart, and we'll talk more about emotions, because that's really my what is the word I'm looking for? That's really what I love to talk about, because everything is emotion, isn't it? Everything is emotion. So I hope you have a fantastic day. It's Monday. It's the start of the week. You can choose what you're thinking. It's only a thought, remember, and a thought can be changed. But just for today, be mindful of your unconscious mind. What are you feeding your unconscious mind? Because it's always, always listening. Until tomorrow, see you later.